Grab a seat and let's talk. Okay, I know you hate being broke and you want to cut down on your spending so you can save for the future. But have you really been cutting down on your spendings? Or do you find yourself tempted to go overboard and even eventually going overboard with your spendings every now and again, leaving you with regrets the next day because you know deep down that you didn't make proper use of the last money that came into your hands? Hey, don't be too hard on yourself. I have been there, which is why I am making this video, to reveal to you the secrets that has helped me each time I am tempted to go overboard with my spending. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, you are welcome. My name is Tracy, and over here we don't pamper flaws, we eliminate them, and I'm here to help you with that elimination process. And I'm starting now. Now, it is very easy to tell somebody, hey, you need to cut down on your spendings by going on a budget. While that is good, most people start out by sticking with an extreme budget for the first few days, some a few weeks or even months, only to go overboard with their spendings again, making them feel like working on a budget doesn't really work. But is that true? I need you to see budget as a diet. If you start with an extreme diet and starve yourself, over time you will eventually binge and put on all the weight that you lost in the first place. Trust me, you don't need to starve to be on a budget. Budget is supposed to be a lifestyle change, not a punishment. It is supposed to be something you do effortlessly. If not, you will get fed up easily and then return back to your vomit, which in this case is impulsive spending. If you budget well, that is properly planning and allocating your resources, over time you'll be able to do the things that you love without regretting it the next day. For instance, if I look into your bank statements right now, would it be a reflection of the fact that you don't spend intentionally and you're allowing your income to be pulled in different directions? Now let's talk about how you can develop a sustainable budget. Many people don't even know what their income can actually support, which is why they live from paycheck to paycheck. For them, money in the bank is equal to spending. It doesn't matter if you earn 10,000 or 10 million every month. The truth is, your resources are limited. And it's been proven over and over again that consumption tends to rise with increase in income. So it is very important to have a spending plan that takes that into consideration, especially as you level up and your income increases. That way, you don't feel like you're punishing yourself all in the name of budgeting. Here is the trick for guilt-free spending. I promise that what I'm about to say is very easy and will reflect more on the things that you love. Divide your income into 3 parts. Your income should be able to sort your long-term financial goal, your short-term financial goal, and your living expenses. I'll explain. For the long-term financial goal, you set aside money that will help to increase your net worth. A good example would be purchasing a land, property, or stock portfolio. The percentage of your income that should be pushed towards your long-term financial goal should be at least 20% of your total income in a month. Do not do this if you're already in debt. The best way to plan for your future is by first settling all past financial scores, which is debts. Doing that is going to help you lay a good foundation for the future that you dream of, and over time increasing your net worth. If you're still in debt, watch the video where I addressed being broke and the way out. Links will be in the description and at the end of this video, but do that after watching this video. Another smart way of allocating your resources or planning your finance is by setting aside some money to meet with your short-term financial goals. It is the portion of your income that you set aside for treats. That is why I say that you can actually do the things that you love without having to feel guilty, only if you plan your finances properly. Allocate 10% of your income to meet with your short-term financial goals and use it to treat yourself. Remember, it is the portion of your income that you set aside for treats. For instance, your desire to buy an iPhone or to enjoy a luxury holiday, afford a nice meal at a restaurant, buy fancy clothes, or just whatever tickles your fancy. Once you've done this, you can then feel free to use the remaining amount left from your income to meet with your living expenses. That should be able to sort out your daily transportation, the food that you eat. Say you run out of soap, toothpaste, and you need to buy a tin or two. You can actually use the leftover to sort out your living expenses for that month. One way to ensure that you're properly utilizing your income is to ensure that you're able to also meet up with your monthly contributions, say for your health insurance, the petrol for your car, and other service charges like electricity bills and stuff. Now, when money comes into your hand, do not use all your money to sort out your living expenses. Remember to set aside 20% of that money to meet with your long-term financial goal. Set aside 10% of your income for treats, which I call your short-term financial goal, and whatever is left in your hand, that is what you should use as your living expenses. So usually for a start, I'll suggest that you have a minimum of 3 accounts. One account is where you stock up money to meet with your long-term financial goals, the second to meet with your short-term financial goals, and then a third account that you can always and easily access to meet with your living expenses. If you have more than 3 financial goals, you can decide to open more than 3 accounts, but make sure it is something that you can manage and account for properly. Here is an exercise that I would love for you to take seriously if you want to really organize and properly allocate your money. I need you to create a bucket list of all your different financial goals. Have an account for emergencies. I made a separate video where I talked about emergency funds and how you can go about it. So do well to check the link in the description after watching this video. Have another account where you can save money for the things that makes you happy. I've talked about this, so if you're someone who loves traveling, shopping, then you need to have a separate account where you can save money, and when it accumulates, you can use it for anything that tickles your fancy. I'm saying this because sometimes busy schedules become so overwhelming that you decide to just take a break, give yourself a good treat, relax, and generally just pamper yourself. To be honest, you know yourself better than I do. If you don't save up separately for things like this, you'll be setting yourself up for overspending, especially when you decide to treat yourself. And that is going to jeopardize your financial freedom in the long run. Planning for it means you're making up your mind to spend mindfully and within a budget. Well, if you're someone who is starting out with 3 accounts, then you can actually classify rent while defining items that qualify as emergencies, and then they save up to meet up with their yearly rental obligations. But in order not to mess things up, especially when you're faced with an emergency, you don't want to use the money that you set aside for rent to meet with another emergency. So in that case, I'll suggest that you have a separate account for rent. If you don't do this, you might be tempted to wait 3 to 4 months before the landlord comes knocking at your door, causing a scene, and then you start panicking and probably borrowing because the amount you have on you is not enough. And sometimes you might even be tempted to withdraw some money from your long-term financial goal account to sort out this short-term rental obligation. And trust me, you don't want that. The last thing you should be doing right now is accumulation of debt. So have an account that is dedicated for your rental expenses. That way, you're able to systematically put aside some money each month to meet up with your rental obligations. And it's not just for rent alone. You can decide to save up school fees, bills like that tends to give you high blood pressure and that comes and hits you suddenly, even though you're well aware of their due dates. You're also going to need an investment account. Remember, I said that if you're starting out, you can start out with 3 accounts, but if you have more than 3 financial goals, these are the things that you're supposed to do. Have an investment account, because there is no point working hard year after year and then spending it all because you've not planned your finances properly. You have no assets to your name, you've not made any investments, and then checking your net worth only to realize that your net worth is 0. I've made a separate video that will help you know your current net worth and practical steps that will help you increase your net worth. Links will be in the description, so do well to check it out after watching this video. If you're a salary earner, it is is best to systematically put out a proportion of your income towards building assets that is going to earn you an income, because you don't want to be a salary earner all the days of your life. Or do you? I guess not. And lastly, have an account for bills. This is same as the living expense account that we talked about. This video suggestion contains other secret tips that is going to help you meet up with your financial goals. If you want to know your net worth, learn how to track your finances, know how to go about your emergency fund, then click on this video right here, and I'll see you in this video right now.